Also in data types, we have the structured data. It's organized data stored in rows and columns easily searchable because usually they have the same unit in the whole column or row. You will find them in databases, spreadsheet, Excel, for example, spreadsheets. Unstructured data. It's disorganized data that does not fit into traditional databases like text document, videos, images, and this is very challenging type of data. Nowadays, the artificial intelligence is getting better and better in also reading the unstructured data. Data type structured approach. In this case, all data collected in the same exact way, especially important for multi-site and cluster evaluation so you can compare. For example, you can do the same collection in different cities, different branches, so you can compare, for example, one country against the other or one city against the other. Important when you need to make comparison with alternative interventions, like I mentioned. Use a structured approach when need to address extent questions. Why do we have obesity so much in this, for example, in this city? Have a large sample of population, you know what need to be measured. So in this case, we will focus on kids in schools to understand why they are overweight. Need to know and to show results numerically. Here we say 50%, for example, of boys are overweight and 30% of girls are overweight. Need to make comparison across different sites and intervention. For example, in the same city, we can compare poor region to rich region or private school against public school. However, in the data type that is using unstructured approach, it is a systematic and follow general procedure, but data are not collected in exactly the same way every single time. More open and fluid and does not follow a rigid script. So you can change the way that you are collecting data depending on the environment, depending on what's happening on the floor. So use this approach when conducting exploratory work. You're discovering things, need a narrative or stories to follow, seeking understanding theme or issues. But however, want in-depth and rich backstage information. This is when, you begin to discover issues on the way. For example, you start with something, you can end up with something else, and you can follow your observation and document everything that you are finding, trying to find a trend in some cases, and seek to understand the results of data that are unexpected.